We're here with Francis Archambault, CEO and Head of Sales for nse Automatech in Granby, Quebec, in another of our Down the Supply Chain series interviews. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your product mix and your customers and what you're producing here?
Yes, for sure. In terms of product mix, we have I would say, very large expertise in terms of integration of product, machine product, including from hard metals and soft metal, pretty complex, in which we also have the capabilities to do all surface treatment. So these parts can be critical parts. Other could be for the aircraft interiors, and other could be tooling and prototype for our different customers. So very, I would say, large scope of capabilities and a large scope of expertise in terms of these work package or components.
Mm-hmm. So you're basically a one-stop build-to-print shop for tier one suppliers and OEMs.
That's exactly that.
And have the full capabilities, including Internet 4.0, Industry 4.0, to take a blueprint and go from there and deliver a finished product of various complexities, including assembly.
That's exactly that. And in fact, today most of our product are oriented to large OEM, and our finished product, including the surface treatment. Some of these large OEM are Bell Helicopter, Bombardier, GE Engine here in Bromont, Zodiac, Hutchinson, Arconic. So I would say major OEM and major tier one, in which we do all the work, mainly machining, inspecting, and surface treatment, and all the qualification for these parts.
Can you give us an example of some of the parts that you? What are examples of some of the finished parts?
Yes, for sure. For example, for Bell, we do parts called the yoke that goes on the Bell 429. We do receiving that from hard metals block, and we do the machining, and then we sub some of the surface treatment that we don't do internally, but other are done internally, and we do the assemblies of bearings and testing. So these parts are one of the most critical type of parts that are delivered for a large OEM. So that's an example. But we do also, for example, components, development components, I would say blades for GE engine that are mainly for prototype blades for development also, in which we'll deliver the blades fully inspected and ready for testing at their premises here in Beaumont.
Mm-hmm. So you've got some fairly sophisticated flight critical components
That's right.
That you're manufacturing.
Right. Yes.
What differentiates your company from your competitors?
Well, first of all, it's clear that today is one of the major point to consider is the expertise and the knowledge that we have in manufacturing engineering. So we do a lot of development, but we'll also do production, a good mix of prototyping and production. So when you do that, you need to have I would say, smart people to do manufacturing engineering. It starts from there. And then a lot of knowledge in terms of machining from 3 to 4 axes, and also a good, I would say, a good production strategy. We work in cell for major key accounts, so we're able to develop by account and maintain our competitivity. This is the way that we work, and also something that is quite important actually. It's to be able to do a large part of the surface treatment and the paint for these parts or the assemblies. The large OEM and tier one, they're looking to people that they are mastering, I would say, most of the functions or requirements of to build these parts on the supply chain. So this is what we. It's not the only differentiator, but it's major point that positive point that we delivering on day to day. So we're quite proud of that.
Mm-hmm. So delivering that finished component is critical,
Yes, that's right.
and delivering obviously on time and on quality. You have all of the ISO certifications.
Yes.
What else differentiates you? Is it the expertise of the people primarily
Yes.
in this area?
Yes, in this area, it's kind of interesting. We're not, in the middle of Montreal. We're a bit south of Montreal, around Granby. There was a lot of there's still a lot of expertise in machining and producing parts. Good university, good college, and people are very, I would say, invest, very, I would say. Focus on their job, so it's not so difficult to find people, and people are very respectful and honest. They stay with the company, so that's a major point today. And also in terms of support, we have good support, financial support from the different the level of government or locality, so that is quite good. And that's one point that's very important in terms of evolution of the manufacturing technology. We are part of Archambault. We're Fab, Fab 3.0. Now we're working on the new regulation to Mac, excuse me, Mac 3.0. Now there's Fab 4.0. We're part of these initiatives. So we have support from this Archambault, even if we're not downtown Montreal. And that's a good, it's a very good thing, because the OEM and the Tier 1 are looking to company not only of what they're delivering today, but be able to present a roadmap in terms of vision and manufacturing capabilities to support the growth that it's there actually in the aeronautical world.
In recent years, you've built another plant to do some things in the medical side. You've built the surface finishing facility here.
Yeah.
What's next, and where does your future growth come from as a company here in America, here in Canada?
Well, it's clear that we will stick to our plan. We have major key account. The point is to grow and what I described before, but mainly with even more integrated products. I was talking to you before about mechanical parts that are machined and then having the surface treatment and paint. But we also have a plant in Ville-Saint-Laurent, Quebec, which we do cabling, harnesses, test, and all these things. We see in the future that the OEM and Tier 1 are looking for more and more integrated product in terms of mechanical and electrical and test product. That goes in the cabin. The cabin of aircraft are changing. There's a lot of innovation. Sometimes it's the same platform, but there's a lot of innovation from different airlines that are required. It's becoming a differentiator for some of the airlines, how they present their cabin, and we are able to do small parts in which we make the integration of electrical, mechanical, and tests of these parts in line with all the requirements, market requirements. So this is a growth. It's a small work package, but the volume is quite important for these kind of assemblies.
Mm-hmm. And where do you see your growth coming from in the next few years? Continuing to work with the existing suppliers as the programs ramp up, or are you looking to acquire some new programs from other suppliers as well?
We have our strategy is it's mainly a top-down strategy. So we look on the aircraft OEM platforms. We focus on our expertise from there. We can see that the growth is there, and the order intake are pretty large, and we want to get more and more integrated parts, component or packages. Also, nse Automatech is addressing mainly 70% of their market today is aeronautical, but we have other market that we're addressing. So the other market is helping us to have a revenue stream that is quite interesting, and it gives us the capability to invest, before the curve. So that's I would say a constant, predictable and solid growth from our core business that we're mastering today.
Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.